guys, welcome back to Read Instead. I'm Jake. Glad to have you here today. Only 2 books left out of my 5-star reads that I've been reviewing since I began this channel. Only 2 left. I wanted to take this opportunity to review one of those 2 books, and that would be Dune by Frank Herbert. Okay, for all my science fiction fans out there, we're talking about it today. The king, maybe, of all science fiction books. I suppose that's a little subjective at the end of the day, but I would have a feeling that if we took a poll of all the science fiction fans around the world and we asked them what your favorite, or what do you think the best science fiction book ever written is, I have a feeling that a good majority of them would say Dune. All right, so let's get right into it. Let me just start off by saying this is a pretty, for me anyway, it's a pretty complex book. It's big. It has a lot of information. There's a lot of plot that happens every single chapter. One of the cool things about the way Frank Herbert writes, he kind of just lays out the setting and I suppose the technology that exists at this present time in this book without really giving you any backstory about it, which I think is kind of cool. It just allows you to accept it for what it is. I know sometimes, especially with fantasy books, magic system and whatnot, there'll be some sort of description of how it works and the rules and regulations that surround it and stuff like that. Dune just kind of, this is the setting. These are the things that exist. This is what we are capable of doing as human beings at this present time, and you just accept it for what it is because the writing is phenomenal. It's beautiful. Having said that, like I said, it's a very complex and big book. I could talk for a long time about the plot. I want to just try to take just a couple minutes and give you the basic synopsis of it. Okay, so as the book opens up, you meet a family, a sort of a royal family that exists on a particular planet. And there are plans being made for this family and the people from this planet to go to another planet and basically sort of take over as the government. And this is all supposed to be done sort of very diplomatically and friendly. They have these plans in place. And the reason why they're going to this planet is because it has this substance. It's called, they call it spice. They call it a few different things, but they mainly call it spice. And this is a mineral, I suppose you'd call it. It's something that exists that prolongs life. So think of the most precious and valuable natural resource that we have in the world today and sort of multiply that by 10. And right away you meet Paul Atreides, and he is the son and the son of the patriarch of this family, and he's in line one day to sort of take over this family and take over the people, his people. And right away he starts having these dreams, which is pretty cool, and they're sort of vague to begin with. The further you get along in the story, you realize that the reason why he was having those dreams. After House of Atreides gets to this planet, there's betrayal that happens. There's political sort of backstabbing that happens. And another race of people from another planet invade the planet that they have landed on, that they want to diplomatically and friendly sort of start to cultivate this spice and whatnot. The planet that lands where they are basically just commits a mass genocide. Again, this is because this was allowed to happen because of inner betrayal that took place. Lo and behold, Paul, the son of that monarchy, that family, finds himself alone with just him and his mother in the desert of this planet. The planet is just one big desert. And that's when the coming of age story begins, and it's a beautiful story. And there are a people, again, sort of a race of people. I guess that would be the best way to describe it. A race of people who already inhabit this planet that Paul and his mother eventually get into contact with. And as the story progresses, the people of that planet have a religion that, and their religion tells them, one of the beliefs of their religion is that a Mahdi, a Messiah, will come and lead their people in a deliverance. There'll be an emancipation of these people. And why I say that is because these people are sort of primitive in some way, but they live on this planet that has this unbelievably precious resource that everybody in the universe, or galaxy, in the solar system, whatever, wants. And throughout all of time and history, as the years have gone back, there's always been sort of an occupying force on this planet, and they didn't have the means to sort of defend themselves, so they kind of just threw their hands up and said, well, if you leave us alone and you let us sort of be ourselves, and don't rule with an iron fist and let us practice our religion and stuff like that, we'll let you cultivate this spice. There's so much written and talked about in regards to this book. A lot of it sort of mimics real world history, how nations and conquest sort of, how that has gone on throughout time. I mean, really throughout all of time, conquest and diplomacy and stuff like that. And this book sort of it doesn't mirror one particular country or one particular continent or anything like that, but it mimics how men, how we treat one another, really. So again, getting back to the coming of age story, and getting back to those dreams that Paul was having in the beginning of the novel, what happens is you see this boy, a huge amount of growth takes place. So he goes from being the son of the patriarch of a royal family, so to speak, and you would think that was sort of a big enough task in itself, or a high enough calling. What he realizes is that these people from this planet believe that he is the Messiah. He is the one to come and deliver them, and to be their sort of representative, and to lead them out of slavery and occupation. The coming of age part comes when at the beginning he's sort of very reluctant to believe this, but as time goes on, he not only believes it, but he embraces it. And that's really, if I could just stop there, I don't want to give too much away. I really gave sort of a lot away of the whole plot, but I didn't. There's so many. I'm not telling you about other characters. I'm not telling you about. I mean, there's just so much plot to this novel, but it's beautiful in the sense because Paul, takes heed to a calling that's so much greater than the one that he originally had at the beginning of the novel. That's what's so cool about this. I could easily say that Paul Atreides is one of the coolest protagonists that I've ever read. He's sort of mysterious in a lot of ways. He's soft spoken. He doesn't talk a lot, but seems as though he's highly intelligent. He's friendly and diplomatic, and he knows how to the people that occupy that planet that they go to, just the way he deals with them and the customs he starts to take up, just to show them that I'm here and I'm willing to live with you people, and there's an openness about him. He's reserved in a lot of ways, but then there's sort of an openness about him too that makes him very appealing. As I said, this book, I would consider it's pretty complex and it's big, but it is so worth reading. For someone who's, there's so many, we're all on different reading journeys, and, this channel is all about trying to get people on a reading journey. I don't want to say that if you've never read a sci-fi book, don't read this because it's too complex or too big or anything like that. I really don't want to say that, but I'll just tell you that it's a journey. It's a journey, and I found myself at the end of each chapter. This is really the only novel that I can think of really, at the end of each chapter, I sort of went back and I had to skim through some parts and just sort of mentally recollect my thoughts. This is one of those books I remember at the end very vividly when I finished it. I kind of wanted to go back to the beginning and just start reading it again. It takes a certain kind of novel to sort of give you that, to have that kind of effect. To where you finish, 800 pages or whatever this book is. When you finish, it's like you want to take it all in again, because it was just such a journey. It was such a ride, and it's just a phenomenal novel. And it's no surprise that to me that this book is highly revered, renowned, loved by science fiction lovers. That's all I'll say about Frank Herbert's Dune. I hope you guys check it out. All right, guys. 2 more quick things that I wanted to share with you. As always, I want to let you know what I'm reading next. A few videos ago, I went over about 9 novels that I want to finish before the end of this year. And one of those novels that was on that list is Trunk Music by Michael Conley. I just can't get enough of this guy. And, for me personally, I like to sort of bounce around from time period and setting and genre and stuff like that. That's just me. I like to, I don't really read like 2 fantasy books back to back or 2 science fiction books or 2. I like to bounce around. And if you guys follow this channel, you know that the last book that I read was Cold Mountain, and I really, really loved that book. But that was a Civil War era American sort of romance saga thing that I really enjoyed. So I wanted to, sort of switch areas and go back to, when it comes to crime fiction, Michael Conley has never missed for me. This is the Harry Bosch series, which you guys have probably heard about, and I believe this will be the 5th book in the series, and I think there's like 22 of them now, and I think at some point I'll finish all of them because they're just really, really fun to read. I just started this. I'm going to get into it a little more tonight, but that's what I'm reading right now. Trunk Music by Michael Conley. And last but not least, guys, I just wanted to sort of let you know that, this was a new, this was uncharted territory for me, a new journey getting into, being a YouTuber and starting this channel. And I didn't really know what the sort of workload was going to be, what the commitment was going to be. So I sort of needed to take a couple months and sort of get my bearings, especially, when September started, getting back into the school year with my kids and stuff like that. Editing the videos. I'm not a huge tech guy, so I'm like, when it comes to technology and video editing software and stuff like that, I might as well be like 75 years old. But nonetheless, I feel comfortable now saying that my goal going forward, this is always going to be my goal, is to put out 3 videos a week. One of those videos will be hopefully a immediate reaction, as you guys hopefully have checked those out also. That's the only playlist that I have on this channel, my I keep calling it instant, immediate reaction videos. And that's right after I finish a novel. I try to get right in front of this camera. And it's good for me too, because it's like I finish it and I kind of want to talk to people about it, but not too many people in my life that would be interested in listening to it. Another one will just be a sort of a random book review of a book that I've read. And then lastly, it'll be sort of a miscellaneous, video, just a fun video, talk about what I'm reading, talk about, the mindset behind trying to read instead, and talking about, putting down social media and stuff like that and picking up a book instead. It can be anything. I remember a couple months back I did like my 5 who I think the 5 worst antagonists, the 5 worst villains are ever in literature, or anything that comes to mind that I think would be fun, and maybe start some conversations in the comments. So those 3 videos I'll hopefully be getting out every week. All right, guys. So that's it for today. That's Dune by Frank Herbert. Might as well put it right back up here, right? What a beautiful cover this is, by the way, isn't it? They came out with these a few years ago. The whole series. By the way, I forgot to mention, this is a series. This is the only book in the series that I've read. I believe there's 5 more books, which I'll read at some point. But that's I just want to let you guys know how much I enjoy doing this and talking about these books. And couple videos ago, I made a video of unpopular opinions. And I can't believe how many views that got. I don't know what that says about us, that we like to figure out what other people don't like or something. I don't know, but that got 20 times more views than any of my other videos usually get. So I was really encouraged to see that. So I'm just looking forward to continuing on with this and having good conversations about books, and hopefully maybe somebody comes across this channel and is encouraged to get off the electronics and get off social media and read instead. All right, guys, that's it for today. Take care.